In the early 2000s, two young men disappeared in Naples, Felipe Santos and Terrence Williams, both last seen with the same Collier County Sheriff's Deputy. Both men of color in their 20s vanished 3 months apart on the same street in separate encounters with Officer Stephen Calkins. The former deputy has denied any wrongdoing. The USA Today Network Florida and WGCU produced an award-winning podcast series in 2023 documenting their disappearance and the investigation into the cases. The series, called The Last Ride, is the first locally originated podcast ever distributed by NPR and has now been downloaded more than 2 million times. As we begin the new year, we're embarking on a weekly re-airing of The Last Ride every Tuesday in hopes of shining some more light on these unsolved cases. Janine Zeitlin has been reporting on this case for 20 years and was a key reporter on this investigation. And of course, she joins us now, and we are grateful for your time, Janine. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So tell us what has happened since this podcast aired.
So I would say the story got out to a lot more people across the nation. People were made aware of the disappearances, and dozens of tips came in, and unfortunately none bore out. But there was renewed interest in the cases, and a couple of cold case investigators reached out to me. And I know that one has taken the case further, Steve Ridge, and he actually went to Calkins's house and tried to interview him in Iowa. And he did share video of us with that encounter, and Mr. Calkins was certainly not happy to see him there.
I'm calling the police department right now because this is harassment. That's all. No.
Mr. Ridge did file a complaint with the Department of Justice Civil Rights Division asking for further investigation.
We should note that Mr. Calkins, again, denied any wrongdoing, but he was fired. Can you explain?
Absolutely. So there were 2 internal affairs investigations brought against Mr. Calkins after the disappearances of both Felipe Santos and Terrence Williams, basically because the families went to the sheriff's office and said, your deputy was the last person that we saw our family member with. So the agency was compelled to start an internal affairs investigation. With the internal affairs investigation of Felipe, it was very short. It wasn't very thorough at all. And they asked Mr. Calkins what happened. Mr. Calkins said, I gave him a ride, and the investigation was closed, and he went back to patrol. But the real investigation happened 3 months later when Terrence Williams disappeared in January, and his family really pressed as hard as they could to get answers about what happened to Terrence Williams.
So obviously technology has changed a lot since these disappearances. So let's talk about how the technology around police encounters, police accountability, has evolved since the disappearances.
We don't have proof of what happened after Calkins said he pulled these men over because we didn't have technology at the time that was tracking Calkins. Now we have GPS tracking on cars, we have dash cams, we have body cams. There would be less mystery in terms of what happened when Calkins had these encounters with Terrence Williams and Felipe Santos.
Janine, we really appreciate your reporting on this, and we thank you for not letting this story go. Thank you.
Thank you.